Hi everyone, sorry I promised almost a month ago more videos and I have a million excuses why I didn't have time to do this, but nevertheless I'll go straight to talking about the car. Actually, yes, that's one thing I keep correcting myself because I keep calling Rivian the car, but this is actually a truck. This is a real powerful mid-size truck. I'll talk more about questions that I get most often. So first question is how do you buy the thing? What is the purchase process? The second question is how to charge the truck, and the third question is how do you service it? These are the questions I get most often when I go to Cars and Coffee or see other people, and they just ask me because nobody knows what Rivian is, and then they just want to know more about it. So how do you buy this thing? That's actually pretty easy. You just go online, almost like Amazon.com, but you go to Rivian.com and you buy the car. And then it gets delivered the next day. I wish it was that easy, but the process actually is pretty straightforward. In our case, it's September 2020. We went and put down a deposit, a refundable $1,000 for the car. And sometime in 2021, when Rivian has announced actual configurations, colors, and options to the car, we chose the configuration that we wanted. In this case, it was a truck, R1T truck, in launch edition with launch green color, black interior, and standard 21-inch wheels. And then, in this case, with the COVID and chip shortage, etc., you wait until the company actually calls you and tells you, okay, your vehicle is almost ready. Do you still want to buy that? Okay, I say yes, I want to do that. And then the Rivian guy that called you, they tell you that, okay, so once the VIN number is reserved for your car, you'll get an online purchase process. There are like 8 or 10 steps that you go through. Once you do everything, you put down the down payment, you figure out insurance, financing, etc., then at some point the car will get delivered. In our case, the Rivian guide called us about 24th of March, I think, and they told us, okay, 4 to 6 weeks, let's do the online process. Do you still want to do that? I'm like, okay, yes. Then you go through actual online process, these 8 steps. The trade-in. We went with trade-in because Rivian surprisingly gave us the best price for the car we were trading in versus Carvana, versus Room, versus the dealership, Porsche dealership. Then there is the insurance process. At that point, we actually just added Rivian to our current policy, the Progressive. Later we switched it to our Rivian policy because they have a very nice perk. I'll talk about that later. Then there was a finance, and we decided to do like the trade-in plus 10K down payment, and the rest we financed through Rivian services just to have everything as a one-stop shop. The rate was 3.6, I think. And we finance it for 60 months, and the monthly payment is like $500. And then, actually, once you finish this process, it will tell you, the online website will tell you that, okay, your delivery date, you can pick it up from the calendar that you want. In our case, we couldn't choose the delivery date because it was already fixed as the March 28th. At first, I was thinking that was actually an error, but in reality it appeared that it's not, and then Rivian started calling us, okay, you need to finalize the financing thing, you need to finalize the insurance thing, and at some point there was some misunderstanding about the financing documents. They thought that we already signed them, we didn't, so they had to resend the documents again, so the delivery date actually shifted for a couple of more days. So the insurance thing, the interesting perk, the Rivian Insurance Services, they actually use the Nationwide as an underwriter. And one of the perks that they promise you that you cannot get from any other insurance is that if you are going to insure with them, God forbid, you total the car, you do not go to the end of the line, but you get pretty close to the beginning of the line, so you get your vehicle replacement much sooner than waiting just another 2 years, which is, I think, pretty cool. The insurance through Nationwide was probably like $300 more expensive than Progressive, but I figured that we'll see, but this replacement thing sounds kind of cool, so we went with Nationwide. And then the delivery date, the day the delivery is gonna happen, there is the person that actually brings the truck to your driveway. In our case, he actually stopped about 3 miles away from here at the parking lot of the Giant supermarket, unloaded the car and drove it here because he thought that, okay, this is the small neighborhood, he might not be able to get in his truck here, although 2 years ago when Factory 5 delivered the Cobra kit, the 18-wheeler passed through the neighborhood and we were unloading the Cobra boxes and frame and the body right here. But anyway, yeah, so you end up, as a delivery process, you end up with the truck being on your driveway. You don't go to the dealership, you don't haggle for the price, you just buy online, get the car, and you're done. Okay, charging. Charging is very easy. You take the plug, you plug it into the car, and you charge it. The reality is a little bit more complex. So the first option, the free option. The car comes with sort of like a portable charger that if you plug it in into the regular domestic 110 volts plug, it will be adding about 2 miles per hour of range, which I assume you agree is pretty slow, but it's better than nothing, right? Second option, you can actually install a wall charger that you buy either from Rivian or you buy from any other company that you install home if you have 240 volts input in your house. The cost of that charger, I think the price for the charger itself on Rivian's website is $600. You can find something cheaper probably online, but the point is it's the standard charging point GT17 something. I'm very bad with numbers, but the point is it's a very standard plug that you can find on most of the charging points except Tesla's. So you have to use the other third-party companies like Electrify America, Blink, EVgo. There are some other companies that provide networks of charging points across the US. So the charging point is actually here. There's a sensor button that opens the port, and you can see, I'll probably show later, the standard port for regular charger, and there is the extra ports for quick DC charging points. By the way, I don't think this is gonna last for too long, this mechanism, because of all the water and dirt that is getting into this area, but we'll see. So yeah, the wall charger that you installed, that you can install at home, will add about 25 miles per hour, which is plenty for actual overnight charging. There is no issue with that. The third-party companies' chargers, that depends. There are slower chargers that will add about 10, 11 miles per hour. There are faster chargers like Electrify America, where you can add about 200 something miles per hour, which is quick, but obviously cannot compete with 3 minutes of refueling your car if you go somewhere. But that's the reality of electric vehicles right now, except Tesla's. They are faster in this regard and the network is better. Yes, we other EV owners probably envy Tesla Superchargers network, but hopefully, like with all the infrastructure projects, we'll get there eventually. So yeah, like I said, the portable charger, the wall charger, and the third-party networks that you can charge your car at. Rivian is also planning to build a network of chargers, and they promise that their chargers will add 140 miles in 20 minutes, 140 miles of range in 20 minutes, but their plans are to build this network by the end of 2023. There are some chargers already installed in the US, but not in the southeast Pennsylvania, definitely not even in New Jersey, so there is still an issue with that. But most EV owners, as I've read, they are charging vehicles at home. With the wall charger, it's pretty easy. By the way, speaking of wall charger, so in our case, it just you buy the wall charger, but then you have to install it, and obviously a certified electrician has to do that, and then the cost will depend on how far your control panel is from the place where you want to charge the car. Some people have the control panel, like the main breaker, in their garage. In our case, it's like across the house in the basement. So just the wire, 6-2 wire, to get from that point to garage was about $500. So in total, I paid $1,200 for the installation of the wall charger. But considering the costs of charging a vehicle like this, which is probably a quarter of fueling a car right now with the premium gas, I think it makes sense, and it actually will break it even pretty soon since we are driving a lot. Okay, and the third question that I get most often is, how do you service the thing? Obviously, there is no dealership since you buy online, but the company has service centers that they are opening up in the US. There is none in Pennsylvania. The closest one, I think, is in Brooklyn. There's another one in Richmond, Virginia, but both are actually pretty far away. So it's not like I'm gonna stop by there on my way to get groceries and figure out issues that I might have. But okay, so what happens when you actually have issues? So there are two options. The first option is that the mobile repair person, service person, will come to your home and do whatever necessary right in your driveway or garage to fix the issue. I haven't had that experience yet, but actually 2 days from now, from recording this video, I will have a person come into our house from Brooklyn Service Center, and they will try to fix a couple of issues that we found in the car, which I'll show in a separate video, and we'll see what happens. What is the process, and how do they do that? The other option is that if something serious happens, you cannot drive the car, or actually you need to be in the service, like the car needs to be in the service to get that thing fixed. They will come to your home, they will pick up the car, will provide you a loaner. Unfortunately, that's what I've heard, that they do not have Rivians as the loaners right now because they ship everything, whatever they make, but they provide you with credit for Lyft to get to the enterprise rental. They provide you with the rental with enterprise. And then you drive it around until your car is fixed and being delivered. So with the issues that I spoke about, there are a couple of body issues. They said that, okay, it's just going to take 1 day, but we will provide you a vehicle, and then you will be able to drive around. But luckily, they changed their mind about picking up the vehicle, so they are coming to our home, and I will do a separate video on the service work that they are doing. I think these are the three main questions that I get about this truck. There are more fun questions that I get. It's like, the one question was, is it German? I mean, maybe, but yeah, the car is American as it can get. I'm sure there are a bunch of foreign parts in it, but it's designed and built in factory in Illinois, Normal, Illinois. The other fun question I had, and even more crazy, is that, is this a Ferrari SUV? I mean, look at that. I mean, just look at that. Is this the Ferrari SUV? No. Could be. Well, it's probably going to be faster than Ferrari SUV, but we're going to find out soon when Ferrari finally announces their SUV and its specs. But overall, you have to be prepared whenever you go to wave at people, talk to people, tell people what this is. And it's actually pretty fun driving a car that not a lot of people have seen, not a lot of people know what is this about. what is this car, and like questions like who makes this, like it's Rivian, but right, but is it Ford or is it something else? Like, no, this is the separate company. Yeah, that's it for questions, and I'm gonna see you soon in the next videos. Stay tuned, subscribe, and see ya. Bye.